Hello bros and brodettes. In this video we're checking out Broforce. It's a 2D platformer that's just, I think, exceptional. It does so many things really well that we can learn from. In this video I'm going to pick out two of the things that it does particularly well that I think we can learn a lot from and study and scrutinize to make our own games better and to become stronger as game developers, game designers, game creators. So let's jump in and have a look at Broforce. The first aspect I want to highlight about this game is one of my regular favorite things to highlight in games, which is consistent player experience. What I mean by this is that the theme, the mechanics, the special effects, the voiceovers, the artwork, absolutely everything about this game matches the same vibe and tone. And what is that tone? I'd call it Team America, fuck yeah. It's guns and explosions, it's unnecessary destruction, it's every 80s action movie or TV show that we know and love. A-Team. Okay, let's look at some aspects of the game and see if it matches that tone, right? Okay, the name. Yep, Broforce is about as Team America as you can get, right? The characters, you've got Rambro, you've got Brohard, you've got Brominator, Indiana Brones. Yep, they're all totally bro-appropriate. The explosions. Check. The destruction. Check. Screen shake and particles. Yep, got lots of that. Over-the-top weapons. Check. The enemies. Yep. The menu select screen. Yep. Huge metal eagle thing, that's pretty much fits in with it. The loading screen. Yep, you got your stereotypical US helicopter. The voice acting.
Terror cannon! Broforce! Brominator!
Check. The music.
Broforce, kicking ass for justice and for liberty.
Yep, dramatic and self-important. And the cheesy cutscenes. Yep, check. So all the aspects of the game, we just went through a few there, fit within the same theme, the same vibe, the same tone, all matches really well. Everything about the game, I would say, is over the top, cheesy 80s action, and that's a huge part of why it feels so pleasurable to play. The second thing I picked for us to analyze is the way this game cleverly uses character variety to extend gameplay, so that we don't get bored doing the same shtick over and over, which some platformers can give us that kind of feel. So every time you die, you respawn as a different Broforce character, and each character has a different weapon and different special attack. For example, the Bro in Black character has this crazy powerful gun that lays waste to everything, and which often results in me blowing myself up, which is cool, but, you know, huge. Mac Brover, who I love, one of my favourite characters, lobs these sticky grenade TNT bombs, which means you can't shoot straight at enemies, but you can run up and do a grenade stick on their back and watch them run around and freak out, which is cool. You got Indiana Brones, who has a whip, which is pretty rubbish for killing, but super awesome for platforming. You got Brominator, who has a gigantic minigun, which takes a second to fire up, and Bronan the Barbarian, who has a sword which pisses me off because I can't shoot guys and I tend to die a lot when I have him, but he's super cool anyway. And something we can take from this as developers is that the amount of feature development work to create all these extra characters is pretty low. From a coding and gameplay standpoint, it's really just tuning the variables. You know, for this character that has a weapon that shoots a shotgun style, you, instead of having one projectile come out, you say let's have 7 projectiles come out. Instead of it going the whole way across the screen, we'll have it just go a short way across the screen. So you're tuning and tweaking. And then really it just comes down to the content of the artwork. That's really the cost for doing this, but you can get a huge amount of gameplay extension out of making these small tweaks and positioning it to the player as this is an entirely different character, and it feels really special to the player. All up in Broforce, there's dozens of characters, which make it a real delight waiting to see who you get next when that next character comes along. And what I think is a really clever move, the creators of the game build on this feature in another couple of ways. Okay, let's talk about that. One is that they use the character unlock, or character unlocks, as a progression achievement. So once you rescue a certain number of hostages, which you do throughout the gameplay, you unlock a new character, which is then in your random rotation. And when you rescue a hostage, so when you break them out of the cage and then collect them, you get an extra life. Plus, rescuing these hostages forces your character to randomly switch to a new one at that point in time. So you have this moment in the game where you get rewarded with an extra life, which is cool, and also rewarded by having a totally new character type to use right there in that moment, which is cool. You know, even if the character isn't one of your favorites, Bronan, it's still a super rewarding moment. So those are two really quick aspects I wanted to highlight from Broforce. If you're playing it, be sure to check out also their really neat show don't tell storyline and their super stellar boss battles, really excellent boss battles, and of course their team campaign mechanics for encouraging replayability within the game. These are all things that we can learn about for our own games that we're creating, and I think all in all, I would say that Broforce is a near perfect example of how to make a really compelling, really engaging, really interesting action platformer. As always, I hope you found this video useful. If you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you liked it, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Got some other videos you might want to check out as well. In the meantime, I've really enjoyed talking to you today and look forward to seeing you in the next video.